This is Nothing But Niners.
This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. He takes the handoff, swings to his right, gets to the 20. He's at the 30, needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline, breaks the third tackle, comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown! 49ers! 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, cuts back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers. 7 the Owens, 27-yard line. 49ers into the backfield. Smith on third down. He'll take it himself for a first down. And more. Alex Smith is in. Touchdown.
His left hip. Third down. Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and it's good. Touchdown. Touchdown 49. But it's second down. Ryan takes the snap, goes to slant to the left side. It's Russell, intercepted! The 49ers pick it, and Navarro Bowman is redemption! Navarro Bowman running it all the way for the touchdown! No greater redemption!
Kaepernick gets it. Hold everybody. Colin Kaepernick. What a game. Touchdown.
Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back. We're here to bring you guys another fun-filled episode. Now, guys, I think I might be riding solo tonight. I think. Not quite sure, but either way, we're going to have a lot of fun. But, guys, let me run through some of these formalities really quick. Now, if this is your first time here on the YouTube page, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Turn on those notifications, all right? Make sure you guys know exactly when we are going live because we bring you guys impromptu videos, breaking news videos, and things of that nature. So, head on over to YouTube if you're not here. Like, subscribe, notifications, okay? Give us a follow on some of our social media platforms. We have Twitter and Snapchat. Those handles are Nothing But 9 ERS. That is the number 9, Nothing But 9 ERS. And then follow us also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. That handle is Nothing But Niners. That is spelled all the way out, spaces, underscores, all that good stuff in between. And last but certainly not least, make sure you guys head on over to patreon.com/NB9ERS. That is for Nothing But Niners. You guys aren't going to want to miss out on all the awesome content that is going on over there on Patreon. I'm your guy, 49ers Mike _NFL. And to my right is my guy, Nick. He is 49er Faithful 365. What's going on, Playboy? How you doing?
Chilling, man. Chilling. What's up with you?
Same shit, different toilet. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, bro. I hear you.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have cursed so soon. All right, I got to watch it now. I got to make sure I watch the time on the cursing. Apparently, YouTube has this 7-minute rule with cursing in the beginning of a video, and then you lose certain placements and stuff. So I got to watch it now. So all right, that's strike one. We don't want to get any more strikes. So Nick, man, we got to go through some of the latest news, some of the you know what it is, man. The team is always making moves and roster moves and stuff like that. So we're gonna pop this thing up here, and we're gonna talk about it. This is what I got for today. Now, normally when I do these things, it's like black with the writing and all that stuff. But today we did it up a little different. Check this out. All right. The San Francisco 49ers announced on Monday they have signed linebacker Michael Kendricks to a 1-year deal. The team also announced they have signed offensive lineman John Halapio. I feel like I said that wrong, but that's how it's spelled. Halapio. And running back Jaquez Patrick to the team's practice squad and released safety Jared Maiden. The team also opened the injured reserve practice window for running back JaMycal Hasty. All right, so check that out. Let me know what you guys, Nick, any surprises there, man? Anything stand out to you about any of these moves?
No, I mean, obviously you're bringing back Michael Kendricks. you're bringing back Michael Kendricks, and
What the hell happened to the back?
due to the fact that Dre Greenlaw is still not back, Marcel Harris is out with a thumb injury. You need that position, that depth for that position. And then JaMychal Hasty being activated to practice window, which is good. Jared Maiden's been here a while. I'm not sure why he was released, but interesting.
Yeah, I was. I thought that the linebackers were playing okay, so I guess like seeing this Michael Kendricks thing, it kind of confused me. So I'm not quite sure what the team is doing there. And the other thing that was bothering me is that damn, hold on, let me see what this is. Hold on. Jaquez Patrick. That's the other move that was kind of confusing to me. You got the practice window opening up for JaMychal Hasty. I know he's not officially on the roster yet. They have to make that decision. They have 3 weeks to make that decision. But they're not going to use him. They don't use the running backs we have that are active. They don't use Trey Sermon. Why on earth are they going to bring up Patrick? So that didn't make any sense to me.
Why are they going to bring him up?
Like, why sign him back to the practice squad?
Well, just in case there's an injury, he's on the practice squad. I mean, why would you not sign him to the practice squad?
They're not going to use him.
Right, but you still need depth on the practice squad.
They don't use the depth that we have on the active roster.
Right, but say JaMychal Hasty doesn't come back, and Jeff Wilson's still out till November, and you have an injury to one of the running backs, you need somebody to bring up. You can't, then you'll be searching the streets for somebody.
I guess I would have to see them do more than 7 carries for running backs in a full game before I start thinking that they need, you know what I'm saying? Like they need to bring other people up, because it just seems weird to me. I don't know. Maybe it's recency bias with me, but you had Trey Sermon have 1 carry, and then that was it. I don't see the need for any running backs to be added to the. I don't know. It just felt weird. What the heck is that? That chocolate? These kids, man, they got stuff all over the place.
I'm having trouble hearing you for some reason. It's mad low.
Can you guys hear me out there? You're on your phone though. Also, I think my volume is up pretty high. Let me see what they say. Is Mike's volume low? All right. Let's see here.
That's way better.
I didn't change anything.
Well, you just went crazy high, which is I can hear you completely now.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I didn't change a thing, so I don't know what happened. We're getting thumbs up. They say it's good and clear, so we'll leave it the way
definitely
it is.
good now. I can hear you now.
Oh wait, look. Now we're getting some no's, and they said a little low. Maybe it's Android users that can hear me and iPhone users that can't hear me. Because
I got an iPhone and I can hear you plenty now.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. Maybe the Android users are the ones that can hear me.
Get the hell out of here.
All right, man. So listen, man, that was all really the latest news or the latest rumors around the team with the roster moves. Again, if you got to just jumping in, the 49ers signed linebacker Michael Kendricks to a 1-year deal, and they also announced that they signed John Halapio and Jaquez Patrick to the team's practice squad. But in order to do that, they had to release Jared Maiden, and they opened the practice window for JaMychal Hasty. I'm excited to see Hasty back out here. I know people say he has fumbling issues and all that, but I'm excited to see him. Some other news and notes and rumors that happened since the last time we did a show was this one here. This is from John Lynch, 49ers GM John Lynch. It's really important that the Aaron Bankses of the world become players. Aaron Banks, in my belief, is going to be a great player for us going forward. I'm very confident in that. Nick, I read this and I thought a bunch of different things, but one of the things was that I said something on here recently that Aaron Banks isn't as far away from playing as people think, and then it's a giant coincidence that John Lynch comes out and says this in a recent interview. So my question is, what's really going on with Daniel Brunskill?
What's going on with Daniel Brunskill?
Yeah. In order for Aaron Banks to be a contributor going forward and very soon, Daniel Brunskill can't be in there. Whose job is, like, where else is he going to go? Where's Aaron Banks going to go?
Well, I mean, yeah, he's going to play guard. Obviously, that's what he was drafted for. And we all know that Daniel Brunskill has been a stopgap for this kid until he was ready. But that whole right side of the line is Dookie anyway, so I'm okay with moves.
All right.
But Aaron Banks has to get rid of 65, bro.
Why are you hating, man? Listen,
It's got to get rid of 65, bro.
it worked for my guy Garnett, right? It can work for him too.
Definitely didn't work for Garnett. Aaron Banks 65 is jinxed, bro. Get rid of it.
What do you like? I mean, obviously we don't know exactly what's happening in practice, right? But John Lynch clearly has some confidence in this young man. What do you think that stems from? Is it just practice, or is it that is this more about his draft picks than it is about the ability of the young man?
Yeah, it's definitely about his draft picks right now. I mean, the question was asked to him. You drafted two guys at each position, talking about lineman, corner, and running back, and the guys that were drafted later are playing better than the guys that were drafted over them in the earlier rounds. And then it became a question as to where, well, Aaron Banks, I think, is going to be a really great player for us. You know, he has to get familiar with this and familiar with that. But I think in the long run, he's going to be a really good player for us going forward.
So Lynch did some dancing on that. That's what that was. He did some dancing on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that makes a little bit of sense here. All right. And then there's another thing that we have here. And I still think Aaron Banks gets in sooner than people think. Maybe not as soon as John Lynch is suggesting here, but just something to keep our eyes on. Obviously, we want to see what the team can do. So I'm all about the depth, but we'll see. Here's another one. Speaking of our offensive linemen here, this is from Trent Williams. He says, our list of wrongs is not that long. It's nothing we can't handle. We're not waiting for somebody to walk through the door. We got all the talent we need in-house. Nick, true or false?
I think it's true.
Nah.
What? What do we need?
No, you know what? I don't disagree. I don't disagree. There are some positions, some starters that we definitely need upgrades over, but it's not anything that is stopping us from winning or being productive, if that makes sense.
What's our worst position on our field right now?
I'm definitely going to go with offensive line.
Okay, good. I'm glad you didn't go cornerback. Do you know the 49ers
Well, what? Did you say quarterback?
Corner.
No, I think the corners are one of the strengths of the team, believe it or not.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's so complaining about the corners. And fun fact is the 49ers are giving up the second least amount of yards per game in the NFL right now, passing yards.
Yeah, I believe it. And I think our secondary is ranked 7th or something like that. I heard somebody saying overall. It's not an issue at all. And I think that the fact that we've had this rotation of guys, Jason Verrett, Dante Johnson, Emmanuel Mosley, Josh Norman, Drake Kirkpatrick, like we've had this like litany, Jawan Jennings, K'Wan Williams, Diamador
Which
Lenore,
is back at practice, which is really good.
Right. Even Ambry Thomas has been out there. That speaks a lot to the coaching and the defensive line also. But so no, I'm not quite sure why anybody would think that the secondary, the corners in particular, would be.
Well, I'm just saying because that's been the topic of conversation, right? When you're talking about the 49ers lately. It's the quarterback position between Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo, and how we don't go out and get any corners. And that's what the conversation's been, where you can focus on a whole lot more on this team. And I'm in 100% agreement with you that the offensive line is probably, which we thought was going to be a strength coming in to this, this year, coming into being a strength coming into this year is probably the worst that we have right now.
Yeah. All right. So listen, man, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this one. This is not going to be a long episode. You're at work. And what we're going to do here, guys, we're going to have a little bit of fun here. All right. This is, hold on. Nick Donald, we got everything we need but a head coach.
Oh, man.
Let's go, Nick. All right. Since it's your namesake, you go ahead and you start first, man.
I think we see an entirely different Kyle Shanahan coming out of the bye this week. I think this time that Kyle Shanahan had off, I think there was some reflection done. Now, whether it's Jimmy Garoppolo or Trey Lance, I've already said before that if it's Jimmy Garoppolo, I'll be pissed off, but I also have to tell Kyle Shanahan, pick somebody and stay with him. Like, if it's Jimmy Garoppolo, I would expect to see Kyle Shanahan, now that Trey Lance has played in the game, in a full game and a half, to utilize some of those packages for him. So bring him out on first downs, bring him out on third downs, bring him out on any type of down, not just red zone. But I do think that we see a different Kyle Shanahan going into the second quarter of the season.
I will respond to that a little bit later. Nick, thanks for the contribution. And as we go through our subjects today for the show, turning the page, I'll revisit this whole Kyle Shanahan thing. All right. So what we're going to start with here, Nick, you want to do positives first or negatives first?
Yeah, I mean, we can do positives.
All right. So we're going to start with the biggest surprises of the season. All right. So I'll go first. And then if there's anything that you want to add to what I'm saying, or, if you have a different one, let me know, and then we'll go accordingly. All right. So biggest surprises of the season for me, I'm going to start with DeMeco Ryans and his defense. I think, we were just talking about how well the secondary is playing. This team has come out. The defensive line isn't even playing as good as we hoped it would be. And they're still really, really good. Some of the players on that defensive line aren't living up to the expectations that we want for them. But then there's other guys who are exceeding expectations. So it's balancing everything out really, really well. The secondary, despite all the different corners in and out of that rotation, something that we were talking about earlier, they're playing really, really well. The safeties, they still aren't generating any turnovers, but that's something that we're kind of getting used to around here, right? We've given up some big plays, but you're not going to play professionals 17 times and not give up a couple of big plays. This defense, to me, has been one of the brightest spots on the entire team, despite who the opponent happens to be. That high-powered Cardinals offense, you go back and you look at the score of every game the Cardinals have played in this year. Every single one of them is 31 plus. Every one of them. Not against the Niners. 17 points. And that was with the offense struggling. I just think that this defense is a lot better than people are giving them credit for. And so I tip my hat to DeMeco Ryans.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agreement with you. I don't know if you watched the Patreon show that I did with Jesse. If you guys aren't subscribed over there, make sure you guys go over to patreon.com/ or patreon.com/NB9ERS and check that out. But, I was talking about how DeMeco Ryans, the offense was supposed to carry us this year. And we thought we were going to hit some bumps and bruises with DeMeco Ryans coming in. And while he had some bad games, he had Ohio. He had Detroit, where we ended up doing some pull players off the field or whatever. And then you've seen him get a little bit better in the Philly game, but not crazy better. And then the Green Bay game, I was totally upset with him. I thought he didn't disguise coverage as well. I thought he just did, was just showing what they were doing too much. He came out against Seattle and Arizona and played a whole different ball game. These guys held Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson to 27 total yards in rushing, which is something that Robert Saleh has never done, which is something that this defense has never done. And big, I give him hats off to him for doing that. You're seeing a little bit more disguise in coverages. You're seeing some blitz packages. You're seeing some better matchups. You're not seeing the wide nine as much. But yeah, I completely agree with you. I think D'Amico Ryans is a big surprise on this team, for this team.
Absolutely. All right, another one that I have here is going to be the running backs, and this one is probably why I'm the most upset at the lack of usage of the running backs, is because when their numbers are called, they're playing really, really well. And I just can't figure out why this year, with the guys playing the way that they are, they don't want to be used. But then when we were sitting around here with freaking Tevin Coleman, Kyle couldn't wait to put the ball in his hands. And the guy wasn't doing anything with it. So I'm sitting around like I'm completely baffled by what I'm seeing here. But I think the running backs, when their numbers are called, these guys go out there and they perform. They're battling for the starting role. And I love seeing that young competitiveness with those guys out there. And then they even involved Jaquez Patrick in a trick play. It was a terrible throw. But the fact of the matter is that he had enough trust from the coaching staff to even go out there and get that attempt. That speaks volumes, in my opinion, as to how they actually view the running backs here. And I just can't figure out why we're not using them a little bit more in this offense. So, it is what it is. But I have to tip my hat to the running backs. I think they're playing a hell of a style, a brand of ball this year so far.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with you that when they do get the opportunity, that I think they're pretty good, and I don't think they're getting enough opportunity. I'm not going to say it's a big surprise though, because I kind of expected big things from Elijah Mitchell, and I'm a big Trey Sermon fan, obviously watching him play from Ohio State. So, that was probably my super stoked draft pick. But Elijah Mitchell, if you remember, I said this kid is going to be Mostert's replacement. Like when we drafted him, like the kid's got good speed. He runs like a bowling ball at times. He's got good vision. He can hit the outside. He can run between tackles and those type of things. So, between those two guys, I don't understand why we're not using Trey Sermon. I mean, the kid almost had 100 yards rushing, and the next week he touches the ball. Well, he has 2 snaps and 1 touch. So, it's like you go from being the bell cow to getting 2 snaps on the football field and 1 carry, and Elijah Mitchell gets 9 or whatever it was, 7, 6, and then your quarterback runs the football the rest of the time. I'd like to see more from the running backs, but I'm not even going to say that they're not a big surprise. I don't think they're a big surprise. I think they're exactly what I expected them to be. It's just you got to see them more. I think we just got to see them more. And it goes the same as the Trey Lance stuff. Like, let the kids play, and they're going to grow, and they're going to get even better. And I think Elijah Mitchell and Trey Sermon in the future are going to be big 49ers fans' favorites.
All right. I like it. And then my last biggest surprise for the positive here is going to be Tyshawn Debo Samuel. We finally got an opportunity to see what this kid can do with a full and healthy offseason, where he could actually come in and not playing on any kind of lingering injury And this kid is one of the best receivers in the NFL with two different quarterbacks, and two quarterbacks who, if we're being honest with ourselves, aren't really lighting the world on fire right now. And he's going out here and he's showing the weapon that he is. And, you know, the slight that he feels for probably not being a first-round pick, we're starting to see why. He's always felt like he was the guy. You know, he talked about his desire. What was that? Was that here? Did you hear that scream?
It's probably out in ShopRite.
Okay,
Yeah.
there it is. Bro, I thought that was one of my kids or something. I'm sorry. I know what the hell was happening. Yeah, but you know, he talked about his mindset. You know, when we first drafted him, it was like, you know, I was always taught that if I got the ball in my hand, you head for the end zone. You're not running out of bounds. You want to run through people, and we're seeing that. And I kept saying, man, this dude is too frail. He's too fragile to be doing that. He's not going to stay healthy. Well, he's doing the thing this year, and he's shutting me up. And I'm very, very happy with his production. And you got to remember, I was the one saying that, hey, Brandon Ayuk is going to be the guy. They weren't happy with Debo's production, how often he's injured. They traded up. They got this guy in the first round for this wide receiver, and we don't even see him. That Debo is and has become the number one weapon on offense. That includes every skill position out there, even over the offensive weapon in Kyle Juszczyk, and even over guys like George Kittle. He has become the guy in this offense, and that's the biggest surprise for me.
You know, it kind of sucks, Mike, because I think I would have been correct last year. If all our receivers didn't go down, would Brandon Ayuk have been playing last year? You think so? Like getting targets? If
you
Debo
said
was
if all the receivers didn't go down last year, would he have gotten targets? Yeah, absolutely.
Think so?
He was a first round pick. Yeah, he was going to get targets.
Bro, he's not getting targets now. He's a first round pick.
He's not a first round pick this year.
He's still a first round pick. He's still a first round pick. It goes back to you're drafted in the first round, you should be on the field. Why he's not, I have no clue. I'm getting so pissed off as to why he's not on the field. Well, let me rephrase that. He's on the field. I don't know why he's not getting targets. So his percentages has gone up, right? So the first week he had, I think, 25%. Then he went to like 55%. Then he went to 75% or 65%. Then he's been at 75% the last 2 weeks with snaps. Now, why he's not getting the targets, I don't know. There's only one thing I don't like about Debo, right? Well, it's not that I don't like. I like the physicality part of it. But when you're just like the last game when he started high stepping at the sideline, and then instead of just going out of bounds, he took that last jab at somebody, right? Those are things I don't want to see because we need Debo. Like, you're on the sideline, you're already high stepping to go out of bounds. Don't turn back inbounds just to throw a shoulder at somebody and hurt yourself. I mean, you could jug your knee, you could do whatever. And those are things that I don't want to see. Now, in the middle of the field, go for all the contact you want. But when you're at the sideline and you can get out and you're already heading that way to jump out of bounds instead of just jumping back, I don't like that. Look, Jimmy Garoppolo injury, for example, same exact thing. Instead of going out of bounds, he tried to get the extra yards, turned back in, blew his ACL. So that's the only thing I don't like right now about Debo because we need Debo. And inside, in the middle of the field, do all the contact you want. But if you have a chance to get out of bounds, don't hurt yourself on a fluke play where you could have just jumped out of bounds where you're right there. So
I feel you on that. I feel you. We have a contribution here from Ali Bear. She says, "Aloha, my senior professors. I am off to work. Stop by to show support. Mahalo, Ali." Thank you very, very much. We really, really appreciate the support. It's been continuous since we started this thing. So she has been excellent.
love Ali.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweetheart.
Yep, 100%, man. Like, just you said it. Thank you very much for the contribution. Now, Nick, did you have any positive surprises that you want to go over, or do you want to keep it going?
Yeah, I mean, positive surprises for me. Azeez Al-Shaair. That's a big one for me. He is definitely stepping up for what he needed to. He's definitely brought a different A game this year, to where I think that I've already said this before. I think he's better than Dre Greenlaw, and people when Dre Greenlaw went down, oh my god, what are we going to be missing? And I'm super surprised at how Azeez Al-Shaair has stepped in and is playing well. Obviously D'Amico Ryans. Another surprise. That's probably it.
All right, that's cool. That's
There's
all right.
Nobody on the defensive line. I mean, Nick Bosa, obviously, but it's not a surprise. I'm just glad that he has 5 sacks within 5 games. And I think he's starting to get his legs under him.
I had a couple honorable mentions, but I didn't want to list everybody. But I did have a defensive lineman actually, in Eric Armstead. I think people.
Oh yeah,
he's been killing it out there, and people are like, "Oh shit, okay, all right, Arik, we see you." So I was really happy about that. But let's keep it moving here, man. We're not gonna waste time. Let's get to the negatives, man. Biggest disappointments. I have a list. If you want me to start reading it, I will happily do that. But this is my biggest one is here. I'm not gonna lie. It's Shanahan's decision making. Think about this for a second. Quarterback.
You're here. I wanted to make sure you're here. Hello.
Cool. I don't. All right. No, it's I muted you. I didn't know what was going on. Quarterback, running backs, wide receivers. He's using all 3 of those positions in the strangest way I've ever seen Kyle Shanahan use those 3 positions. We can't figure out why Brandon Ayuk, the number 1 pick from last year, can't get targets. We can't figure out why Trent Sherfield, who set the entire preseason and training camp on fire, isn't getting targets, right? We can't figure out why running backs aren't being used. And we can't figure out what the hell Kyle's trying to do with these quarterbacks. We don't know what's happening here with the quarterbacks. I mean, Kyle is just complete. Bro, we have people saying that the 49ers don't have an identity. That's coming from an offensive-minded coach. People don't know what the hell to expect from week to week, from drive to drive with the offense. And that's Kyle's side of the ball.
And it's not even just content creators. It's people that are within the organization. It's Matt Mayoko's, it's Tim Ryan's, it's Greg Papa's, it's Joe Staley's. Like, all these people talking about how we don't have an identity, which is crazy.
I completely agree with you, man. And I can't figure out how it's possible that, I think we had expectations, right? We kept saying it took Matt Ryan 2 years, right? Wait till Kyle has a quarterback in the system for 2 years here, right?
And
Matt
Jimmy
Ryan was
still
the
had 2
MVP.
years.
Yeah, Matt Ryan was the MVP. That offense exploded. They took off, right? They were the best in the league, right? All this stuff that happened. All right, Jimmy gets injured at the beginning of his second year, right? Because he played the 16. We go to the Super Bowl. Jimmy's going to take that step forward. He gets hurt early in the Jets game. All right, cool. We're going to wash that whole year. Forget it. Now it's supposed to be this year, and Jimmy ain't looking much better. Then we trade all this capital to move up to get Trey Lance, and Kyle's like, yeah, nah, but Jimmy's my guy. What was the purpose of the trade then if Jimmy was your guy? You know what I'm saying? Now, sounder minds will tell you what we all said in the beginning. We knew Trey Lance was the one that was going to take the most to get ready. We knew that. He was going to be the one that was the furthest away from being game ready. So we knew that, right? We're not blind. We're not silly. We haven't forgotten what we thought about Trey Lance as a prospect. Just because we drafted him doesn't change what we expect to see from him, right? But Kyle throws him in, and he's like, "Yeah, well, I mean, it felt like he didn't have a choice but to play Trey Lance because he was the only backup on the team. It didn't seem like he was ever confident in him, and he even sounded surprised at the end of the post game presser. He's like, "Well, I mean, he played well enough to win." Like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he's still just the backup. That's why he's the number 2. So he's sending mixed signals on all sides. I can't even tell if the mixed signals are intentional anymore. Just Kyle's decision making, man. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I agree. Kyle's decision making is really, really bad this year. You've heard me you've heard me saying it for a couple weeks now, like just like you were saying about the identity thing. It's like, what is the identity of this team? An interesting stat. My guy Jesse brought up from Last Second Sports was coaches in the league. People were saying you can't fire Kyle Shanahan, right? Just because, he hasn't had the time or whatever. And he went and said at a minimum of 50 games coached, Kyle Shanahan is ranked 128th out of coaches completely that have coached 50 games or less. Jim Harbaugh was ranked 5th, and they fired him. But Kyle Shanahan's ranked 128th, which was pretty interesting to see that he was that low, right? We look at this. We look at this team and we're like, well, Kyle Shanahan is a genius, but yet we haven't seen that geniusness out of him yet this year or even last year. Or, you go and look at teams like Baltimore, and they lost every single running back in their room, and they're still finding ways to win, right? The 49ers lose pieces, and it's like, we can't win. We're not winning games. If you go back to the 2019 season, the difference between 2019 and now and the rest of the years is we could close out games in 2019. We can't close out games now, whether that's play calling, whether that's player execution. And if you're going to go and play and say, Tim Ryan said, I believe it was Tim Ryan who said today, I was listening to a podcast from KNBR, and he said, player execution is on Kyle Shanahan. If they're not executing, why are they out there? You got guys like Brandon Ayuk that aren't getting targets, but when he does get the targets, he executes. So why is he not getting those executions? But no, I agree with you. One of the biggest, disappointments for me definitely is Shanahan's decision making, whether it's play calling, whether it's personnel, not utilizing a quarterback that you spent so much draft capital for, when you know that Jimmy Garoppolo isn't not the answer. Now, I think a lot of it has to do with right now is that we're 2-3. We're half a game out of a wild card. So it's not even like we're completely out of this playoff race, right? We still have 3/4 of a season left. A lot of games left. So we'll see how we are after the next 4 and see where we're at and kind of see where that decision has to go as to where it is for firing Kyle. But right now, obviously, I don't want to get rid of him. I think he'll be on another coaching staff tomorrow if we got rid of him. And plus it's in season. You can't do it in season. You gotta wait till after season. So, but yeah, he's one of my biggest disappointments this year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The other one is going to probably come as a surprise to people, but I think our run defense has been pretty disappointing to me. Like I said, when I was propping up the defense and what D'Amico Ryans has been doing here, they've been the surprise for me, how well they were playing. Like you said, they're achieving things that even Robert Saleh didn't get done here, and we were all worried about how the transition would be. Yet and still, if we're being completely honest with ourselves here, there's some concerns about the run game. Like we see it, we're watching it all unfold together, and we're sitting here like, oh, come on, man. Like, you got to stop that. You got to know what they're about to do, and you have to be better. You have to execute better. You know what I'm saying? And it's just not always happening the way we want it to. So that's one of my biggest disappointments here. They give up just one too many big runs a game for my liking. At least I'm not used to seeing that as a 49er fan, and I want that part of the old days back.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this has to do with what I said with where I've been saying that Fred Warner hasn't been playing well. And when our run defense is working, he's playing at an all-pro level. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not just him. There's also defensive linemen that aren't making tackles, but there's a lot of missed tackles. A lot of late decision making choices. But how can I say this? It goes down to also the defensive line. Guys like Javon Kinlaw. Guys like Samson Ebukam. Guys like Arden Key. Contavious Street. Guys that aren't producing like they should be. So,
it's funny you said that about Kinlaw. I have him in another segment here.
Oh yeah, he's in mine
that I'm going to discuss. I didn't mention him as one of the biggest disappointments, but you're right. A large part of this has to do with how these guys in the defensive front are performing or not performing. In particular, this is their job, and the fact that we're depending on the linebackers so much for the run support, it's a little, I don't know, man. I just think that this wasn't part of the original game plan, and it's odd to me because Chris Kocurek is still here. He's the guy that gets those guys prepared for those kind of situations. So, yeah, I had the run defense there.
And the crazy thing is we're not doing that much worse than we did in 2020.
No, not at all. And that's
we were giving up 106.4 in 2020 through 5, and we're giving up 113.2 right now through 5 per game on average. The last 3 we've given up 99.7, and the last one we give up 94. Giving up 102.5 at home and 120.3 at away games. So I was just trying to give you those.
And that's also, and I do think that the run game could be better if we were just more competitive on the offensive side of the ball, right? So when teams jump out to a 2-score lead on us in the first half, naturally they start running the ball more, right? So that's going to pad those stats. And then we're sitting here saying, man, we got to get a stop. We got to get a stop. And then when we don't get that one stop, it's super disappointing. It's like, come on, you guys were right there. Like, we had to get that stop. And I think that's why I feel so disappointed in the run game. It's not about the stats. It's when they allow those big runs to occur.
Try to guess who's number 1 and try to guess how many yards they're giving up.
As far as the team?
Yeah. Rushing yards.
It's going to be a team that probably scores a lot, so teams have to throw to keep up with them. So I'm either going to go with the Cardinals or the Rams.
No. The Rams are ranked 9th.
All right.
The Cardinals are ranked 23rd.
In the run? Jesus.
Yeah.
Teams are
Tampa
barely.
Bay is ranked 1, and they're only giving up 54.8 yards per game.
Yeah, they got a nice defense over there, man.
So the top 5 are Tampa, New Orleans, Baltimore, Denver, Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas is putting up a lot of points this year, too. I could see that. Baltimore, yeah, they put up a lot of points, and teams try to get out ahead of them. Tampa, I mean, that's actually very surprising that Tampa's in there because teams try to take a balanced approach against them and play keep away with Tom. So they like to run. But see, a lot of this has to do with opponents too. I got to see who some of these teams have played. They could be playing some straight basuda like that. I don't know, man. I got to see who they're playing against.
Yeah, I just had to see what that was. That's all.
So my
next one.
Yeah, my other negative here is going to be Alex Mack. And this is no fault of his own. This You know, when the team signed Alex Mack, I was disappointed right away. I said he was too old. He's coming off of 2 bad years. Why do we think he's going to be any different? Da-da-da-da-da. Like, I knew what to expect as soon as we signed Alex Mack, right? And then I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if it's the homer in me. Like, something in my head just like made me start thinking that Alex Mack was going to be the piece that we needed to make this offensive line work, right? I just thought that everything was going to be better with the veteran guy. I thought his veteran presence was going to be enough to overcome some serious issues that we have here, and it wasn't at all. The right side of the line is still the biggest issue, right? I mean, it's not good. I think I'm disappointed in Alex Mack because I built up hope and expectations for him. I think that if there's no way Alex Mack would have made this list if I felt the way I did the moment we acquired him in free agency. If I felt that way this whole time through, I would have never had expectations. It would have been impossible to disappoint me because it would be, yeah, I told y'all. I told you this guy was no good, right? That's what my reaction would be. But somewhere down the line, I convinced myself that this guy was a solution to a problem. And I'm just not seeing it. I remember saying Kyle's got to stop going out here and getting guys that he's familiar with just because he knows who they are. That's what my initial thought was when we got Alex Mack. And now here I am saying, this guy's playing like he's old. This guy's not as good as what we thought he was. And that's why he's my biggest disappointment. One of my biggest disappointments.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's in my biggest disappointments, but I don't think that the play that we're seeing right now is what we're gonna continue to get from him. I think that I think he's had a couple bad games. I think he's had some decent games, but the last couple games he's been really bad. But I will say it's still a biggest disappointment for me because of the fact that I expected better. Just with coverage calls, blocking, just solidifying this offensive line in the center, at the center position. So I'm going to agree with you with the biggest disappointment there. So, yeah, I don't know if you want me to give some biggest.
All right. Yeah. So that's going to do it for my 3. I just tried to do 3 in each one. And like I said, I got some honorable mentions in my mental Rolodex, but if you have any of your biggest disappointments, let me know what they are and we'll put them in there.
Yeah. So obviously I already touched on Fred Warner. He's one of my biggest disappointments this year. I think that he's not playing at that all-pro level. I think that he can do so much better. I expect more of him. I don't know if it's the defensive change, if there's more on him. His coverage skills have gone down. He's been targeted 13 times, has given up 11 receptions. He only has 1 pass breakup this year.
Yeah,
that's
but how
not
much
Fred Warner.
Of those 11 receptions, that's not telling the whole story. Like, are they underneath routes where he's just the guy that happens to be in coverage and he gets a tackle right away? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that?
I have to go back and watch all of them. I don't know exactly what they all are. But compared to his coverage skills last year at this time, he was at like an 89% where his coverage skills were great. So we haven't played. We played TJ Hawkinson, good tight end if you're covering, right? Let's just say tight ends. Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert, Philly. No Robert Tonyan. So they had a backup tight end in Green Bay. Then week 4 was Seattle. I don't even know who their tight end is anymore. Is it still?
No. He's not there anymore. I can't think of his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't think of his name either. And then obviously Arizona. Williams went down and got hurt, so now they have Zach Ertz. So, just basing it off tight ends. He would be one of mine. I don't know why people are like so hating that. Like, it's okay to criticize players. Like, it's okay to do that. It's okay to say, hey, I think this guy can do better. I'm not hating on Fred Warner. I just want people to know that. I love Fred Warner. but I expect more of him. He's a leader of this defense. Like, I expect more of him. So I expect him to step up in big plays and when needed the most. So second guy, then I got to run out real quick, but let me give you a 2 and 3. Second guy, biggest disappointment for me, I've already said Alex Mack. George Kittle. Why you look like that? Now I don't know how much of this is George Kittle or if it's not being included in the game plan.
George Kittle is exactly who I thought he was. I don't know how you could be disappointed in anything that George Kittle has done.
Well, I'm disappointed because he hasn't taken that next step again. So he's not staying healthy.
That's George.
I'm disappointed in the whole quarterback controversy thing.
What does that have to do with George?
That he's a Jimmy guy?
What? We have to stop saying that. We gotta stop.
Bro.
How is George Kittle a Jimmy guy? When has he ever said, "Hey, I don't want Trey in here. I want Jimmy"? How has the fan base concluded that George Kittle?
Mike, come on, go back to his pressers, bro. You're the one that reads into pressers the most. Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
I've seen him big up Trey Lance.
I've never heard him say give any type of good props to Trey Lance. I've always heard he's 21. He's a rookie and he's 21 years old.
He's more mature than I was. He's probably more mature than I am right now.
That's not talking about his game.
He was talking about his game all preseason, though. That's not your. Oh man, I wish I had like the exact clips. I would pull it up and play it because we don't get fined for that. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Okay, but
I like it. No, but but you know what? I want you to keep going because people think I hate George. So please keep going.
Yeah, it's not that I hate George. It's just one. I said that he'll never be what he was before, in a sense that receiving tight end. I don't think he's going to have 1,000 yards ever again in this system because as long as we have a receiver here that's producing, he's not going to be that targeted tight end. He's going to get 10 or 11. He's not going to get 10 to 15 targets. He's going to get maybe 5 to 6 or 7, 5 to 7 targets a game. 3. Who would be my third? Mike McGlinchey again, man. What's so funny?
I don't know. I just don't get it. Don't get it.
You don't get what?
The Kittle thing. I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on it. I'm trying to figure it out. And I think even with McGlinchey. Well, never mind. Let me let you explain that first, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I just don't know what it is. Like, this guy has some good games. He has some good plays. And then he has some really, really bad plays. And it's not even when they happen in the game. It's just there's some really bad plays. Like, my man is diving at people and missing, then getting up and trying to block downfield and just clogging the plays up. I don't know if you went back and watched it. I know you were saying that he didn't have a bad game. I don't know if you went back and watched this game, but he had a horrible game.
Yeah, no, this was definitely not a good game. This was absolutely not a good game.
You were arguing with me after the game like he didn't have a fucking bad game.
Yeah, no, a couple of bad plays are what stood out to me. I think there were like 3 bad plays that stood out to me in this game. And that's what I was like, that's not a bad, like that's not terrible. 3 bad plays. Like, I'm not mad at that.
Destroyed all night.
I don't know about destroyed all night, but it was a bad
Zach
game.
Allen was doing his ass dirty, bro.
It was a bad game. Like, so yeah, I was with you. Like, I went back and I was like, yeah, I don't know what, like, that's crazy. And you guys know I defend Mike every chance I get, but I was like, yo,
I'm glad you finally admitted that.
No, like that game I can't defend him on. That game I can't defend him on. But the reason why I'm saying how is this the biggest disappointment is because that's who everybody expected McGlinchey to be. So I can't be disappointed in someone if they meet my expectations.
Right.
To me, that, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's why
I'm going to hop out real quick. I'll be right back.
All right, go ahead. And so that's why I said that I couldn't, I couldn't be disappointed in someone like Mike McGlinchey because all right. So I personally was disappointed in Mike McGlinchey's last game and that effort that he had there because Mike is better than what we saw in that game. But I also believe that people can have bad games. You know what I'm saying? So we have to keep in mind that not every there's some times where the matchup just doesn't favor you, right? So check this out, right? We as 49er fans went on Twitter and said, and I quote, Daniel Brunskill is Aaron Donald's daddy. Not a single one of you guys think that Aaron Donald is a trash player. Not a single one of you guys think that Aaron Donald is worse than Brunskill at what their jobs are. Okay? There's sometimes where a matchup just is a bad matchup. Okay? And that's what happened with Mike McGlinchey in this last game. All right? McGlinchey has played really well all year long. Nobody wants to admit it, and that's fine. I understand that the fan base needs someone with a check mark to say these things for you guys to buy into it and believe it. I'm okay with that. And eventually, a check mark will give McGlinchey some positive nods, and you guys will then say, oh, yeah, he isn't having a bad season after all. I get that. I understand how it works, okay? But Daniel Brunskill is not a good guard. He's an average guard, and Aaron Donald is one of the best players in the league. Forget what side of the ball he plays on, right? That doesn't matter. But Brunskill had a really, 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 really good game against Aaron Donald. He made Aaron Donald invisible. Brunskill was playing Aaron Donald so well that Aaron Donald decided to play defensive end for certain snaps because he couldn't get anything going against him. All right? That doesn't mean that Brunskill's good, and it definitely doesn't mean that Aaron Donald is bad. That's not how it works. That's just not how it works. So, yes, Mike McGlinchey is not a big disappointment for me. That last game, I was disappointed in what we saw. But everyone out there thinks that Mike McGlinchey is bad. How can you be disappointed in what you saw? Because that should be what you expected. It should be what you expected. So I don't know. That's just me. I'm gonna keep it moving here, though. I'm gonna go to the next subject that I have here, and it is gonna be our third and final topic here, and that is what to expect. All right, what to expect going forward. All right, this is gonna be really, really important. Hold on, guys. All right, sorry. I saw someone say they wanted to see my hookah setup, so I'll show you guys what it looks like in a second. But what to expect here? All right. I'm going to start with this one right here because I think this is very, very important. Start Jimmy Garoppolo going forward. This is something that we have to accept, and we have to just identify as reality going forward. All right. Until Jimmy is injured, off the team. I don't know what it's going to take for Kyle to change his mind, but this is just what we're going to see. We should expect to see this going forward. And I'm not talking about just one game either. I don't know if we see Trey Lance start again at all this season. Kyle has seemed to, we were talking about earlier Kyle's decision making, and I talked about the mixed signals that he's sending at all three of the different positions, the quarterbacks, the wide receivers, and the running backs, right? But there is one constant signal that Kyle has sent all offseason, all camp, and that is that this is Jimmy Garoppolo's team, not Trey Lance's team. He said it, and damn it, he meant it. We might not have wanted to hear it. Some of us wanted to be a competition. We wanted it to be more than what it was. But Kyle has been adamant that this is not a quarterback competition, that a rookie was not going to come in here and take Jimmy's job. And Kyle looks like he regrets ever putting Trey Lance in. We have to expect Jimmy Garoppolo going forward. It could be, I see Ian's comment, it could be due to salary. And it could be that, Trey Lance just isn't really ready to play. And on that note, I'm going to elaborate. Sometimes you have to protect the player from themselves. And that could be part of playing Jimmy Garoppolo now. Trey Lance is not ready to be a starter. I watched the same game you guys all watched, right? And here's the difference. I watched the game without expectations. I watched the games without hopes of seeing Trey Lance do X, Y, or Z. And what I saw was a kid who made some plays and a kid who missed some plays. I saw a kid who can make some amazing throws, and I saw a kid that missed some really, really, really easy throws. I saw a kid that was extremely exciting to watch and extremely inconsistent. I saw a kid that can run when a play breaks down, and you love that. I saw a kid that ran when the pocket was clean, and you hate that, right? Sometimes you have to protect a player from themselves. You put Trey Lance in too early, and the things that you're trying to fix about him, the things that have been his second nature, the way he moves, the way his body and his footwork and all that, right? These are the things that you're trying to change in him so he can become more consistent. You put him in too early, and you know what happens? Those things all go out the window because he hasn't had enough time to make it second nature. The NFL says, there's this rule, right? I forget. I think the number is 10,000. It takes 10,000 snaps in order for something to become like almost second nature to you. Okay? 10,000 reps. Trey Lance has not been a part of this team long enough to do 10,000 reps of anything. And so that means that everything that he's been working on will all fall to the wayside the moment the live bullets start flying. And I think that's what Kyle is trying to get out of him before they put him under center. Okay? He's here to be the backup. He's a high draft pick. He's always going to be quarterback number 2. But he's just not ready yet. He's not ready. All right? So that doesn't mean that Jimmy's the answer either. But you can't ruin Trey because Trey is the future. You can't ruin him. You have to get Trey Lance developed more. So expect Jimmy to start going forward for whatever reason you want to say. If you think Jimmy's better than Trey, cool. If you think it's because of money, cool. If you think Lance isn't ready, cool. If you think it's because Kyle just really, really likes Jimmy, cool. You'd be wrong there, but cool. Whatever the reason is, expect Jimmy to be the guy going forward. I would not expect to see Trey Lance getting any starts before mid-December. All right? I said it. I'm going to leave that alone. That's one of my what to expect going forward. Okay? Another one of my what to expect going forward. Less of first-round pick Javon Kinlaw. Okay? Now, here's the thing about Javon Kinlaw. He's a first-round pick. He's always going to get his snaps. He's always going to get his reps. But Javon Kinlaw has not been living up to expectations. You can blame it on injury. You can blame it on whatever you want, okay? He hasn't been the strong anchor they want to see in the run D. He hasn't been, he wasn't really brought in here to be a pass rusher. He was brought in to be like this cog and clog in the middle of the defensive line. He just hasn't quite been doing it, right? And I'm not saying he's never going to be that player. But right now, for the next 5 or 6 games, I wouldn't expect to see it. I'm willing to bet, and I can try to pull this up while I'm talking about it, but I'm willing to bet that Javon Kinlaw's snap count has probably been going down week after week. Now, he's going to get snaps because he is, without a doubt, a first-round pick. And you can't change that, okay? You cannot change that. However, I'm just not sure. Is this 2021? Here we go. I got a snap count right here. I'm just not sure that Kinlaw is going to continue to see high amounts of snap counts, okay? I want to see this young man succeed. This is not negative towards him. I just think that there's too many people behind Kinlaw that can come in and help. And the team, especially on the defensive side of the ball, is the only side that seems to have an identity. And I think they want to put their best foot forward. They will continue to give him reps. They'll continue to give him snaps. But I don't think that Javon Kinlaw has a defined strength right now, and they're just going to use him sparingly. We saw Solomon Thomas slowly get phased out, and he was the 3rd overall pick. You guys already know what they're going to do with a guy like Javon Kinlaw if he's not living up to the hype and the expectations. His snap counts for this year so far, defensive snap counts, all right? Week 2, because he didn't play week 1. Week 2, 42 snaps. Week 3, 40 snaps. Week 4, 31 snaps. And week 5, he had 36. It's already going down. It's already going down. So, I mean, if I just read you the percentage, 72% of the snaps, 63% of the snaps, 55% of the snaps, and 59% of the snaps. It's already happening. And I think we should temper expectations with Javon Kinlaw. Stop trying to compare him to DeForest Buckner. They are two completely different players. They're not here to be the same guys. They aren't close to the same guys. Their jobs aren't the same. It wasn't him or him. It was just something completely different. Javon Kinlaw is going to be someone that the Niners have, and I do believe that eventually he will be a force, but don't expect it for these next couple of games. All right, so what to expect going forward? Less of Javon Kinlaw. All right, and then my final thing. Oh, no, it's not my final thing. I got 2 more here. All right, what to expect? Fred Warner explodes on the scene. Let me take a sip here. Let y'all think about what I just said. Now, Nick, who I don't know if he can still hear me or not. I don't know. I don't care. Wow. Nick just came in here and gave us this long soliloquy on why Fred Warner was one of his biggest disappointments on the season. I'm not going to disagree with anything that Nick said. Fred Warner has been missing some tackles. Fred Warner's coverage grade isn't as good as what it used to be. But Fred Warner's still not a bad football player. Fred Warner is actually still really good, right? And Fred Warner is just waiting for the right time. He's not playing poorly on purpose, right? It just looks that way. Fred Warner's always going to make a play when you need him to make a play. He might not be, doing it as soon as you want to see him do it. He might not be the guy punching the ball out and forcing all these fumbles and things like that, like what you're used to seeing. But Fred Warner is still the captain of that defense. He is the leader out there. He's the high IQ guy, and Fred Warner is going to get it figured out. I fully expect to see all-pro Fred Warner coming out of this break. I'm talking immediately, starting against the Colts. I'm talking good coverage. I'm talking forcing turnovers, all that stuff. The energy is there. If y'all thought for a second that Fred Warner lost his energy or enthusiasm for the game, think again. Fred Warner is still the man. All right. And I expect to see more of that going forward. And all the naysayers and the doubters or the people who think that he's having a down year, it's a lot of football left. Like Nick said, it's over 3/4 of the season left. Just you wait. All right. Just you wait. This is my last what to expect. The team's identity to be revealed. All right. Kyle Shanahan, you know, it's bad that we're saying that the 49ers don't have an identity because the defense is playing really, really good, right? So that the truth of the matter is the offense doesn't have an identity. That's the truth. We have a team with good running backs, but we don't want to run. We have a team with bad quarterbacks, but we don't want to run. So what's left for the guys to do? We just got to sit around and just wait for some shit to happen? I don't think so. I think Kyle Shanahan gets back to the basics, guys. I think he says, you know what? Let me get back to being that run first team that we have here. You got people like Mike from Nothing But Niners questioning whether or not Alex Mack was the right choice. Alex Mack has not been doing what Mike expected him to do in pass protection and calling out defenses and all that. Well, let's get back to the ground and pound game. Let's get back to running the ball the way that I know I can do, right? And when that happens, all of a sudden the pass game opens up. And all of a sudden the Niners look like the team that we expected them to be. All of a sudden, our identity is revealed. We all of a sudden have an identity. That's what I think is going to happen. I think he even tries some new wrinkles. I think Kyle Shanahan decides to throw downfield just a little bit more with Jimmy Garoppolo. All right. I expect all of this to happen this year very soon, too. Not just like, eventually. No. Coming out the break. Downfield throws from Jimmy Garoppolo. All right. I'm telling you, count on it. Okay. This team's identity is gonna break out here. All right. But yeah, so those were my 4 what to expect. Team identity to be revealed. Fred Warner explodes back onto the scene. Less snaps and reps from Javon Kinlaw while he gets things figured out. And start Jimmy Garoppolo going forward simply because Trey Lance just is not ready. He needs the 10,000 reps to break some bad habits. All right. So that's going to do it, guys. I don't have anything else for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. All right. We will turn this into a podcast. If you guys missed anything, you can listen to it tomorrow. You don't have to sit back and listen, watch the whole show again while your phone dies. I know that people complained about that. This will be turned into a podcast. Hopefully you guys can check it out there. Okay. Congratulations to our giveaway winner. We did a giveaway on Twitter, and it was the Legacy of Greatness book. And we are going to do another one here on YouTube. Our loyal supporters, we're going to give something back to you guys. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to announce that on the Thursday night show on how to be eligible for this giveaway. All right. The Twitter one was already done. All right. Congratulations to the young lady that won. A supporter from overseas. Nothing But Niners knows no limits. You guys support us, we will support you. We don't care where you live. All right. So the next one is going to be done here on Twitter. All right. Look for that announcement on Thursday on the rules as so how you can enter. And that's going to do it. All right. I got nothing else for you guys tonight. Thank you all for sticking out the show with us. We really, really appreciate it. I love you guys. You guys have been incredible. All right. Y'all see it. It's Nothing But Niners, baby. You see it on the flag. It's Nothing But Niners, baby. All right. And you see where to follow us. It's all over there, man. Guys, get there. Make your presence known. All right. And in the meantime, prepare for glory. Anticipate pain. But always remain faithful. We out of here. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all.
Hold up. I forgot to show the hookah setup. Is my guy still here? Where's he at? All right. You guys want to see the hookah, so here it is. I got it right here. If I drop a hot coal on me.
Oh, that's your ass.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's your ass.
Oh, my God. All right, guys. So this is my hookah here. Hopefully you guys can see it. This is Mike's hookah. All right. Clear box with the LED in there. All right. There's the top of it there. Okay. You guys good? You see it? Okay. All right. All right. There it is. Oh, man. I hope the person who asked to see that is still in the chat. Okay. Now, whew, more Patreon content, please. It's coming, man. It's coming. Stay there. We got more coming for you guys. All right. All right. Let's try this again. We out of here. Peace.
We all gas, no brakes, pumped up, no fakes. We spinning, we winning, we high stakes. We never miss, we all makes. Look at us dudes trying to prove, bringing you news with nothing to lose. Mike, Nick, Tony, Wayne, Method Man, we bring the pain. Hey, see, I'ma confess it. We under the pressure. If you looking to find us, we them nothing but Niners. Nothing but Niners. We nothing